Guys, so today I want to make this a series where I do this often, but I want to talk about one of my favorite psychic sessions that I think I had about a month ago. So it was a younger client. Let's call her early 20s, I want to say. And when I first connect with a client, I get their name, I get their birthday, and then I take a few moments and I check in with their guides and I ask them to come speak with us. And so immediately I connect to her guides, and as soon as I do, a spirit comes to me that is a past loved one, and it says like I'm her ex-boyfriend, and I really want to talk to her. And I was surprised because she's so young. I was like, oh my gosh, you're early 20s, and I can't believe you have a passed away ex-boyfriend. So I'm like, hey, I always try to approach this subject lightly because it can be traumatic. Some people are like, oh, this loved one's coming through, and they get really like emotionally heated. I was like, hey, it looks like you have an ex-boyfriend coming through and he really wants to talk to you. And her response was, yeah, he comes through in all my readings with psychics. I don't want to talk to him. And I don't know why, but that reaction was one of the it stuck with me, one of the funniest reactions, because it's very opposite of what most people have. But hey, everyone has their reasons, and if he's come through a lot, I'm sure she's already spoken to him, and like all power to her. But I just thought that was really funny. um and then another favorite reading of mine happened, I think 3 weeks ago, I want to say. I had a client, and when you book with me, you can write like a little message to me. And she's like, I know who my guides are. I've spoken to them. I know my starseed origins, and I want to get more into it. And I was very excited about that because I love when clients don't tell me anything and just let me pull up what I see because I'm usually like spot on. So as soon as I connect with this client, immediately I was like, okay, so you have these blue guys, these blue beings. I think they're either Octarian or Andromedan, because sometimes those energies feel a little similar to me at first. And she was like, she's gonna say anything, and I was like, don't tell me, don't tell me. And then I was like, they are Andromedan. And then they showed themselves to me, and she was like, bingo, they're Andromedan. That is 100%. They come and talk to me. And I was like, that is awesome, and they're part of the Andromedan Council. And apparently, she, in another life, is on the Andromedan Council. And I thought that was really cool. And so we keep continuing to speak. And I was like, but I know you're Andromedan, but you started out in Lyra from what I'm seeing. And she's like, yeah, no, I've known that. Like, I've heard that I started out in Lyra and that sort of thing. She's like, Lyra Vega. And I was like, I know the being you are. I've seen it in my favorite book of alien races. They're called the Zene, and they're from Andromeda. And I was like, they were showing themselves to me, and I was like, I know, I've seen the race you are. So I end up looking through my book to show her, and this is what the Zene look like. They're Andromedans. And I was like, let me read you the first line in this book. I didn't remember this. I've only read it once. I flip through it sometimes when I see a certain alien race, and I'm like, ooh, where are they from? The first line of the book of describing them is they're a Lyran colony who left Vega to settle in the Xeneian system in Andromeda, in the Andromedan constellation. So anyway, that was really cool. That whole session was really cool. And then we get off the phone, we end the session, and then usually when I get off the phone, I turn to the person's guides and I'm like, thank you for being here. Thank you for being in my space so I could like talk to you, but you gotta go because I don't want like other people's guides around me. So after the session, I turned to her Andromedan Council guides and I was about to be like, hey, thanks for being here, but you gotta go. And they stopped me. And then they said something that has literally touched me like almost more than anything that has ever happened in my sessions. It really like got to me. They said that on behalf of the Andromeda Council, they want to thank me for the work I'm doing on planet Earth and the healing I'm doing. And that was, I was so taken aback because no one's guides ever talked to me really after the session. They're like, okay, cool, we're off the phone. They're happy to go. But they told me that, and I almost started crying. And I didn't say this on TikTok, but they said as a thank you, they wanted to do like a vibrational adjustment healing on me. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever you want to do. So they sent this energy into my core area, my stomach, and it felt weird. It felt very cooling. And they sent this energy to my stomach and then did like an attunement with my energy field there. And then they were like, okay, thank you. And then they left. And that was really amazing.